Hello, my name is Amy Bauer, and I am the managing principal and co-founder of CSHIP Advisors. We are an executive search firm focused on the real estate industry. And for today's On the Case webinar, we are so excited to have Serena Lipton from the National Investment Center for Seniors Housing and Care. Serena has joined us to talk about NIC Academy. For anybody who is not familiar with NIC, NIC is a premier organization focused on providing data analytics, networking opportunities, and education throughout the seniors housing industry. So, Serena, before we jump into NIC Academy, you have a real passion for seniors housing. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. Thanks, Amy. I'm so glad to be here. So I began with an interest in senior housing and senior living in general when I was about 15, I believe, in high school through a volunteer experience in senior housing nearby where I lived. And since then, it's kind of become the focus of everything I do professionally. And in addition to that, I pursued hospitality in college, just kind of due to its close parallels with the senior housing industry. And right out of school, throughout college, I did intern within different kinds of care types in the industry, so memory care, assisted living, skilled nursing, etc. And right after college, I began working senior housing valuation advisory. And that was the first professional experience I had post-grad. And since then have been in a variety of different roles, ranging from that to working at a private equity firm, doing asset management acquisitions for senior housing, and also went into the kind of education side of the industry for a bit by helping BU launch their Masters of Management in Hospitality with a concentration in senior living. And I was one of the first students to go through the program once it was complete. So that kind of gauged my interest in the education side of the space more so, which then led me to a role at NIC, helping develop NIC Academy, which is where I am now. So I'm happy to talk to you about that today.
So, Serena, you joined NIC in 2022 as the NIC Academy Programs Manager. So, how did the concept of NIC Academy come about? What is the goal of the program? And talk a little bit about your role as the program manager.
Yeah. So when I joined, it was within the same 2-week period that our new CEO, Ray Braun, joined as well. And he had high hopes for creating this program as well. And it was great to be working with someone who equally, appreciated the need for this type of education in the industry and was really championing the program. So we recognized that there was a gap where you could learn underwriting skills for senior housing, valuations and financial modeling for senior housing, all on the job in the context of your job.
Right.
But if you were someone who's looking to break into that space or learn at home, or if you're already in a role like that, there's really no other options for you for online learning. For example, when I was working in the finance side of the industry, if I wanted to pursue further education outside of my job to, just really hone in on some underwriting skills and things like that, I would have to learn those things online in the context of other asset classes. Like I could take a class online for multifamily or hotels and, and then have to figure out myself how it applies to what I'm doing at my job.
Okay.
In senior housing. That we really wanted to be the first to fill that. And, I think that looking at the amount of volunteers we also had who came together to create this with us and how excited they were, they also recognized that there's nothing there. Essentially, just kind of going back to the root of what it is, so the Certified Senior Housing Investment Professional Certificate Program.
Okay.
And that's CSHIP. That's what we call it. Right. So this program, there's 3 levels. We're developing the 3rd right now, but we have 2 that are already launched. It has 3 levels of, teaching you all about the business and the underwriting side of the industry. So there's a number of different people that are perfect fits for something like this, whether you're already in the industry and you're looking to get more training outside of your job, or if you're looking to make a move within your role or in your company, or if you're looking to break into the industry and, begin training for something like this so that you can find a role in it. So there's just a number of different people that are great fits. We've also had, I will say, like a number of CEOs of companies who've been in the industry for decades take the level 1 course and say that they learned so much because, again, nothing like this has ever been available. So there's no ceiling to how much you can learn here. But it's been really amazing so far, and it's been so well received. People are sending their employees to the program in large numbers and getting them trained and certified. And, it's been amazing. And we've received nothing but positive feedback so far. I will say that we are really proud to have filled that gap and kind of have been the first to go into that space, and kind of partnering with all the industry professionals that we have in our volunteer system, and getting all of their knowledge together has just been an amazing experience. Part of my role is orchestrating the creation of the programs and kind of making sure everything is going along. So we've had 2 levels now launched, as I mentioned, and it's been great. We're working on a 3rd. High level, there's 6 courses in each program, and each course is 8 hours. We don't have written assignments that you need to do outside of the context of the course. So those 8 hours do count towards the time that you're logged in. There are a couple of tests and quizzes that you'll take within the courses, but there's no outside examination work or assignments. So it's been quite a journey, but yeah, it's been a great experience.
That's wonderful. You mentioned, that there is something for everybody who is in the industry, or even people coming into the industry. And we talked a little bit, you mentioned a little bit about the specifics. That's certificate program itself, level 1 and 2, but you also offer boot camps and then some special topics programs. So talk a little bit about the boot camps and the special topics program, sort of the courses that are offered and the formats for each of those.
Yes. So in addition to our certificate programs, we do have the boot camps take place in conjunction with the conference. So our annual fall or spring conference, and occasionally they will be in conjunction with the growth conference, which typically happens once a year in the spring.
Okay.
And we offer senior housing boot camp.
Okay.
I would say senior housing boot camp is the same type of student who would attend the certificate program would be a candidate for the senior housing boot camp. It does focus on the general kind of underwriting business side of the industry. And it is, however, it's a much quicker learning experience. It's 1 day in person. It's about 8 hours, and you definitely do get a very in-depth experience, but it doesn't go as deep as, of course, as our 48-hour online program would go. So, but it's great for those who kind of crave an in-person experience. There's a networking aspect of it, and it's great for those who are either attending the conferences and wanting to kind of also have a good learning experience during the conference, or those who, perhaps like people on their team or their bosses attending the conference and they want to find a way to contribute and be a part of NIC in another way. So that's our senior housing boot camp. We have a skilled nursing boot camp, and that's popular among people who are trying to get, more of a in-depth knowledge of skilled nursing space. Both of the senior housing and skilled nursing boot camps do kind of focus around a case study, a fictitious case study, and we have like a number of panels, just great in general for those who are looking to kind of mingle and network with people in the industry. Okay. We will soon have our active adult boot camp, which will be for the first time taking place in conjunction with the fall 2025 conference. Okay. So yeah, I mean, for those that are really excited about the active adult space, that will be the first kind of in-person learning event relating to active adult that we will be hosting. But of course, I will also talk more about the special topics courses, which are online, and we do have an active adult one.
Okay. So the certificate program, you mentioned you're working on, and I know you don't have a lot of details about this yet, but a level 3 as well. When do you anticipate the level 3 program for the CSHIP program being available?
Yeah, so level 3 will be for the certificate program. So CSHIP level 3 will be launching summer 2025.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Who are some of the instructors for these courses? How do you find them? Who are they?
Yeah, so I mean, as I mentioned, a lot of the volunteers at NIC were super excited about the creation of the certificate program and volunteered to be instructors for courses that are there that are within their expertise.
Okay.
So for the level 1, there's the first course you'll take is Introduction to Senior Housing and Care Industry. That's taught by Kurt Reed, who is principal of RSF Partners. The second course would be taught by Randy Richardson, former president of V Living. And that course is Fundamentals of Operations. So it teaches you a lot about the underwriting operations within a community. It's a very interesting course. And keep in mind that these are just the 2 lead instructors.
Right.
Each course has a number of non-lead instructors who volunteer their time to write a module. As of today, we have between the 2 programs and soon to be 3, we'll have between 100 and 120 instructors.
Okay.
And all of whom are also NIC volunteers that you'll see at conferences and speaking on panels. So
wonderful. Now, if somebody watching this webinar is interested in applying for these programs, what is the process, and do they need to be sponsored by their current company?
First, people might have, like professional education requirements, or professional development requirements that they have to fulfill on a yearly basis. This is obviously a great way to fulfill those requirements because in turn you are also investing in yourself and getting a professional designation of CSHIP. And that's something that you can, flaunt on your LinkedIn, on your resume. And many of our students do have, now that they've completed the programs. If you look up CSHIP on LinkedIn, you'll see a number of people who've completed it and have earned that title. Okay. So that's obviously a great way to pursue your professional development. This is also something that is popular among students. So we do have, and like I said, if you're planning on pursuing it yourself, you might be someone who's looking to break into the industry, or maybe not yet working at a company. So it really depends on kind of where you're coming from and what the purpose of you're pursuing it is. But no, you don't need to be sponsored by a company to enroll. We do offer various discounts, kind of based on, if you're a student. We have nonprofit discounts, we have operator discounts, etc. So lots of different price points to match everyone's needs. Okay. But essentially, no, there's open enrollment for level 1. The only thing I will say is that for level 2, we typically have people who completed level 1 go into level 2. Okay. However, if you do want to pursue level 2 and skip over level 1, if you feel that you have too much experience to be in level 1, the requirements would be that be able to build a financial pro forma model, including modeling NOI and various other capital structures. Okay. You want to have the ability to conduct a market analysis, including like market area and assessing direct and indirect competition, and being able to calculate the demand based on age, okay, income, frailty, etc. And you'd also want to be able to evaluate an OM, an operating memorandum, right, and have the ability to present to an investment recommendation to an investment committee, or have had experiences like that professionally. So I will say that while we don't have requirements for level 1, those are things you want to keep an eye out for level 2 if you're planning to skip ahead to that level. Okay. Once level 3 is launched, we will have different requirements for skipping to level 3 that will be established upon launch of the program.
Okay. So level 3 again going to be launched. What are some of the other programs you envision for the future?
Yep. So we plan to also have so level 3 is, interestingly, so the way that we have 6 required courses for level 1 and level 2, 6 for each. So level 3 will have 2 required courses and 4 electives.
Okay.
This will allow you to have a little bit more autonomy in, your final level of the program, kind of giving a grad school effect where you have more say over the classes you take and a more of a specialty or a specialized approach to your learning. And so we have those 4 courses that you will choose yourself are from a menu of special topics courses. As I mentioned, we have the active adult special topics course and we have skilled nursing as well. We're also going to have a range of new special topics courses that will add to that menu. Some of those will be underwriting sales and senior housing, risk management. We'll have operational and financial risk management. It's AI and the use of AI in senior housing, as well as skilled nursing. So we do cover all the big topics, and we plan to expand more special topics course offerings. And those are essentially one-off 8-hour courses you can take, and they're not within a certificate program unless you're taking them in the context of level 3.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. So if someone who is watching this on the case webinar is interested in learning more, who should they contact?
Me.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for joining me today for this On the Case webinar to learn more about NIC Academy. Again, Serena's contact information will be included. And thank you to everyone watching this On the Case webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, Serena, thank you for joining us. And
thank you so much for having me.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful to learn more about the programs. It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all right. To everyone watching, thank you very much and goodbye.